Dr. Wilcox is in the studio. He has a special guest. Jimmy, I'm going to let you roll with it.
All right. So early January this year, I performed an eye exam on this, how old are you?
65.
65-year-old retired firefighter. And
where were you a firefighter?
Newport News.
Okay.
And this is Jimmy Chellis.
Is that how your hair got that color?
Probably.
And then okay. I get a few months later, I get a request from his family doctor to send a diabetic report. And I'm looking back at my chart going, well, he wasn't diabetic. So I call him up and say, hey, what's going on? What didn't you tell us? And he didn't know that he was diabetic. Because 2 weeks after my eye exam, he goes to his family doctor and he finds out that his A1C is a skyrocketing 12.6. 12.6.
Right, what is A1C?
That's a month at a glance look at your blood sugar, and you want it to be under 6, and you want it to be in the 5s, and his blood sugar was around 400. And then he, when he left my office a few weeks prior to this exam, he left with this book, Ancestral Dietary Strategy to Macular Degeneration. And people need to go to cureamd.org, cureamd.org, and buy the book if you're interested in this diabetic phenomenal story. But he left my office with the book. Found out he's diabetic, 400 blood sugar, 12.6 A1C, and then he decided to do everything, quote, in the book and 2 other books he got from me. And in 3 months, he's dropped down to an A1C of 6.6 and a blood sugar of 106.
106.
And you lost 25 pounds.
25 pounds.
So did you not take any medicine? You just followed the what was in
I was
the book?
prescribed the medicine, and I came home and threw it on the counter, and my wife says, are you going to take that? I said, no, that's not healthy for you. Dove into researching and trying to find out what caused this for me, and then, of course, counteract all of that.
What caused it?
Too much sugar, for one thing. I really started looking at some of the things I thought I was drinking that were healthy, and they were loaded with sugar.
Like what?
V8.
Okay.
Gatorade. Now, I always thought, I've played sports most of my life, thought Gatorade had a lot of electrolytes. Didn't realize how much sugar it had in it. And I had the occasional 1 or 2 sodas a day and things like that. And when I found that out, next day it was all, stayed in the fridge.
I think that's why those pro teams, when they put the Gatorade out, it's 50-50 water and Gatorade.
Yeah. It was a eye-opener for me.
So you cut all of that out.
Cut all that out. I probably drink 90% water now.
But what he's done is he's given himself, every organ in his body is going to be healthier from now on. He's going to live a longer, healthier life. As the eye doctor, I don't have to worry about retinopathy and all the sight-threatening problems. His family doctor needs to go to the dentist to get his jaw back sewn up because it hit the floor.
Yes.
Right? And multiple times. And he's the poster boy of doing what any of us can do with all those things that face us in life, about being committed and fully committed. And I always say that I'm not preaching, I'm teaching. So all of us have our foibles, our failures, and our miscomings. And he did everything. And so some of the things you did, talk about the olive oils, the oils.
Yes. I found out that a lot of the oils we use are highly processed. And there's really only a few acceptable ones that aren't. So my wife switched to cooking with, olive oil or coconut oil or avocado oil.
And you cut out which ones?
Vegetable oils, canola oils. And I read ingredients on everything I'm buying now, which I didn't used to do that. And there's a lot of oils and hidden sugars in the stuff we eat. So if I see that, I don't buy it. And my taste buds have changed, I guess, from cutting all the sugar out. And I'm eating things I used to wouldn't even think about eating, and find them very delicious.
Like?
Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, avocado. I wouldn't have any of that. And,
all right, let's go, because I know our time disappears here. Dr. Living Good.
Yeah. In my researching, I found a couple doctors on the internet, and they were about 90% agreement with the book I was reading, so I started paying more attention. I really like this one guy, Dr. Livingood. He's down in Carolina, Cary, North Carolina. And he has I'm going to call it a program, I guess. He has a 10-minute exercise in the mornings that you can do, or anytime you want. Don't have to be mornings. I like doing it in the mornings. And things that he talks about the things you should avoid and all of that. And started following a lot of that. And I do the 10-minute exercise every morning. I, increase my exercise during the day too. But I just feel like all of that is a plus for me.
But you didn't know he had.
No, I didn't. He was, and he didn't know he had
didn't know it.
And so he was, basically asymptomatic of his diabetes. And for those listening, it's the 3 P's you have to worry about to be when you're diabetic. It's polydipsia, polyuria, polyphagia. Polydipsia, you drink a lot of water, therefore you urinate a lot, and you're hungrier. And did you have those symptoms?
Yes, a little bit.
Okay, so he did have them, and you just think it's normal.
Yes.
And now you don't have those anymore.
No.
And so for any of you out there finding yourself going to the water fountain all the time, you might want to check it out and see if you're diabetic. But it's just so it's amazing. We talk about this stuff. I bring these books in. And you're a listener in the radio.
Yes.
And nobody come to my office and say I want to borrow any books because I've lost so many books over the years. I will give you the titles of the books. We go back a little bit. So.
Yeah.
But happy to. And what other books have you borrowed and read and applied to your life?
The NO.
Oh, nitric oxide.
Yep. And I'm reading the immunity books now.
Okay.
And then, of course, through the internet, Dr. Livingood and stuff, I've ordered some books from that I've been reading.
So you've pretty well become a fanatic that your wife doesn't want to go shopping with.
Yes.
Yeah. I knew that was coming.
She's tired of hearing me read these books and repeat what I'm reading in them. She's like, you just read it,
All right. Yeah, how about standing up and sitting down? Is it a lot easier these days?
Oh, yes. With the exercise I've been doing, I know, especially, I guess, at my age, when I would squat, after a few seconds, your legs are burning and stuff. I could stay squatted now like a catcher in baseball for a good long time. It just seems better.
3 months, and it's not 3 years. And to take somebody from a 12.6 to a 6.6 in 3 months is just it's. At doctors' conferences, they'll say it can't be done or it's rarely done, and he's a rare.
So how has all of this positive movement affected his eyes?
Well, he has been back in the office. You probably should. His prescription might change, and frequently a diabetic will come in because their lens is swollen, and when your lens is swollen, it'll change your prescription around, and so we can go revisit that. We probably should. Has your vision changed?
I feel like it has.
Okay, and so what happens is when you're swole up with sugar and inflammation, and then you improve yourself, the return to a more normal baseline in your lens curvatures and thicknesses and densities will change your prescription around. I never saw, because we took pictures of his eyes, I take pictures all day long, and his retina looks fine. So the early stages of glaucoma, you don't see the retinopathy typically. It's after it's been brewing for a while.
Have you gone to see this doctor in North Carolina, Livingood?
No, he doesn't see patients.
Oh, he doesn't? Wow.
He kind of does everything over the internet. The story of him, his dad had a heart attack at 50. His dad was prescribed all these medications. It wasn't really helping. He was in college, school, studying whatever he was studying at the time. And he just decided that the healthcare system was failing his dad, and he started researching, and he started getting his dad to do, I guess, what he's telling people to do now. And his dad got off all the medication. And he has people all over the country that are sending in their medication. They're getting off of it. And so he feels he can help more people by going across the internet than seeing you.
And so I know we're on the radio. So there's for those who want the exercise advice, there's a Dr. Livingood, Livingood. This ancestral dietary strategy. There's an ophthalmologist who rid himself of rheumatoid arthritis, an arthritic disease, and then he realized, hey, I was an eye doctor. I need to go look into this. And he has a book, and you can pick it up at cureamd.org. The AMD is for age-related macular degeneration.
Is this somebody you've worked with?
Oh no, I communicate with him rarely as an eye doctor, but he has a whole society that is there to assist people with their macular degeneration. I tell people I'm a root cause guy. You know, you have to work on your STDs, and it's not sexually transmitted diseases. It's stop, take, and do, and Jimmy did all the stop, take, and do. He stopped stuff.
Yeah.
He takes stuff, and the take isn't medicine. Take is good food, and then the do's. The do's are the exercise. The do's are the sleep. The do's are those things. And it's not to say that there aren't other people out there who have been as Jimmified and didn't get the results. So his body reacted well, but most of us aren't Jimmy.
Why did you originally go to Dr. Wilcox?
I've been seeing him for years, and I kind of like Ralph, hadn't been in a while, and decided, hey, I need to, go back and see him. Plus, I'd hear him on your show in the mornings, and I asked him about a lot of what he talked about with you.
And so
a lot of the stuff that confuses me. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a great story to tell, and there's people listening to this, and all these radio interviews end up on my website. And people need to be inspired, and I bow to Jimmy with what he's done, and we'll encourage people to act similarly. And it's great that he's here to give this testimonial.
Have you been tracking all of his readings through this period?
No, I saw him in January.
Oh,
Other than
okay.
that, we've talked.
Oh, okay.
And his family doctor, it's kind of funny. He doesn't listen to us. He came in, got an eye exam, borrowed $3, went to his family doctor, found out his numbers were out of the park. And again, he loves his doctor. He has a great relationship with his doctor, but he decided to go fix it, go to the root cause, which is the drum I beat all the time. And he jumped in with both feet, and he's no longer a type 2 diabetic. And he wasn't a subtle type 2 diabetic. When you have an A1C of 12.6, I keep forgetting that number. Those are big numbers. And doctors say, no, that this is going to be a struggle getting it down. And I don't track those. That's the family doctor's job of doing all those things. And I think that I'm very confident that everyone's very excited about this. I've shared his story with a number of local physicians, and they're all like, "Oh my God, we love to hear these stories." And so I hope that the listening audience will be inspired to jump in with both feet. I think of this horrible thing going on right now, which is the infant formula. These
oh man!
Okay, so this is what happened. This is what happened to me yesterday. First patient, a proud father of number 3. His wife just delivered number 3 on Friday, and she's nursed their children for 2 years. Well, one woman walked out of the hospital that they're in with their newborn, and because the hospital couldn't find formula, and she refuses to nurse. It's like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So it's amazing that here a mother who has the opportunity to nurse and isn't doing it. Well, that's such a significant thing. And Jimmy over here he made the tough decisions to go undiabetes himself. And
I got to admit, Jimmy, when he was starting to make the comparison between you and nursing a baby, I was getting a little concerned about
the point is,
where this was going.
The point is, whatever it is in our lives, it's our inflammation, it's our circulation, and it's our bodies or the bodies of those who are entrusted to us, that we have to make the tough decisions about sacrificing. And when I get the humor. Your wife doesn't want to go shopping with you anymore. Ha ha ha. But the fact of the matter is,
that was a funny line.
But the point.
Was that a funny line?
It was a good one.
Thank you.
If we all achieved the difficult goal of being really loving our bodies, then we would be healthier all around, and less COVID deaths, less diabetes, less amputations of advanced diabetes is horrible, just terrible stuff, and the internet has good news and some bad news, so be careful about what you buy into.
And our usual reminder is that Dr. Wilcox is an eye doctor. He is down at the Point And if you're looking for glasses, if you just want an eye exam, he does that. He may ask you if you want to hear about what he sees and how it can, and then you say, yes, no, I want glasses, follow, do whatever it takes. And he won't give you a book, but he'll give you the title. So,
I'd like to say one thing, though. When I went to the doctor and I weighed 203, I didn't think I was that much overweight. And losing weight was not even my goal. Just controlling the blood sugar was. So I changed, the eating and things I was drinking and stuff. The weight loss just seemed to come along with it, and I went down to 177.
wow.
So I lost 26 pounds in that 3 months. But that was a side effect, I call it.
So you ought to be ready to go back to work now. You feel good?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Dr. Wilcox, thank you very much. We'll see you in a couple